Look at that. I dropped one. That's some big old chunks of humate. All those Greene County products you're using, the humic acid, that's where it starts, is humate. And they melt this down or liquefy it, it turns to humic acid. Just another name for it. But this summer fertilizer, don't be shocked by the word pasture. Okay? I don't want you to flip your wig. We're more concerned about what's in the bag. Okay, and if you'll notice, this is a 10-9-10. All right, it's 10% nitrogen, and the potash is the phosphorus is 9%, and the potash is 10%. There's not a lot of nitrogen, and that's good. I don't want a whole lot going into the summer. I don't want extreme growth, but I am interested in this little shot of potash and this little shot of phosphorus, simply for stress-related reasons, okay? The other big seller on this to me was the calcium. It's almost 5% calcium and 10% sulfur. Sulfur is a great coloring agent. Sulfur is going to make the nitrogen work much better than it should. Also, calcium is incredible for stress relief. It makes the plant, it makes the plant strong. It builds cell walls in the plant and makes the plant tough so it can handle the drought or handle stress better. It doesn't make the plant stress resistant. It makes it more stress tolerant, okay? And you've got all these other micronutrients in here that are loaded. It's got worm castings, of course, humic acid come from liordenite. Worm castings, a big deal, helps to build your soil. And, you know, I kept looking for the perfect fertilizer that had all the different nutrients in it in one bag. And this is what I ended up with. And this is the fertilizer I started off with 4 years ago when I was looking for a way to control the lack of water, because that's what we're doing. We're fighting against Mother Nature. It's not providing what we need, so I'm combating against that. I'm getting in a fight with Mother Nature and say, well, I'm gonna tell my grass to do something it ain't supposed to do in order to compensate for the lack of water. So this is where I ended up at. And the first summer I put this on the yard looked incredible. Second year it looked even better. Third year it looked even better. Now you're in the fourth year and you're seeing how it looks. And here we go again. I'm gonna go out and put my, I got 17,000 square foot and I use 4 bags of it. It says anywhere around 4,250 square feet per bag. 4,300. So it's 10 bags an acre roughly is what it covers. And you know, I don't get into trying to figure up the nitrogen pounds per. I think this is a pretty heavy shot of nitrogen. But like I said, I'm looking for the balance of it. I'm not, so many fertilizers, all they have is nitrogen. It'll be like a 2005 or whatever the numbers are. They're loaded with nitrogen. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for all the nutrients in one shot. That's what makes this so unique and what makes it so special. The Milo that so many people use is a great fertilizer, but if you comparing apples to apples, it don't hold a freaking candle to this. It just don't, because it doesn't have in the bag what this has in it. So it's a big time value deal with this fertilizer. You know, I realize it's expensive. The shipping is kind of high. I get that. I pay the same 25 or 30 bucks a bag per shipping for it. But to me, it's worth it because I see the results in my yard. So the timing of the application on this is roughly mid-May, maybe a couple weeks before that. Anywhere from May 1st up to mid-May, sometime in that time frame. If you're up north, you want to do this about 3 months, 12 weeks after that initial application of the lawn fertilizer. Okay, you want to give that time to be kind of on the downfall of being used up by the plant before you put this on. For you guys in the hot, like me, in the transition zone, I've found that this works best that if you get it down when it's still a little bit cool. You know, before we get into those blistering hot days of June, you want to get it down, get it watered in. Big deal, you got to water this in. If you don't have irrigation, try to time it around a rainfall or something and get this down. And I'll also do my first round of fungicide when I do this. I'll just go out and spread the fertilizer, and I'll go over and mix me up a tank of fungicide and go out here and spray, because the brown patch is on the way. Now, for years and years and years, you always heard that too much nitrogen in the summer causes brown patch, causes fungus. Well, I never believed that. Since day one, I didn't believe it. The reason I don't believe it is because I've tried it both ways. In our business, I put out a pound of nitrogen per 1,000 going into the summer, and I put out 0 nitrogen going into the summer. The yards still get brown patch. It's strictly a weather-related deal. Humid weather, late thunderstorms, the water sitting on the leaf blade overnight. It's a weather-related issue. And then I finally got my my backup on that. NC State, I don't have the paper with me right now, but I'll do a video on this at some point. NC State released a test, a 2-year test that they did, where they put 6 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 over the entire summer. And they tested this out, and their conclusion was that nitrogen does not affect brown patch in any way. The test plots that they put 6 pounds on versus the test plots they put 0 on, the brown patch was in both of them, the exact same amount, the whole 9 yards. So, don't let anybody tell you that nitrogen makes brown patch. Now, nitrogen will stress a plant out, meaning if it's super hot and dry, and you're timed to put this out, and it's very hot and dry, you may want to wait until you get a good rain or something, because you don't want to ask the plant to grow super fast without rain or without water. Okay, that's just a basic agricultural principle. You don't want plants to grow very hard. You don't want to force them to grow when there's not adequate water. So you know, make your timing of your application around that. Of course, I've got irrigation now, so it doesn't really affect me anymore. So I'm gonna put it out and get it watered in, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'll water it tomorrow morning. So I went and got my schedule, because you know, I couldn't remember exactly what was on the schedule. But we got this right here going out, and then I know I'm gonna put my first fungicide out. And in the first round of fungicide, well, we got RGS. RGS is going at 3 ounces per 1,000, so you can actually put you can mix that in with your fungicide and do a 1 application and get it all. You know, on a round 2 fungicide, we'll run the microgreen. I was confused. I was thinking we was going to do microgreen the first one, but it's the second one. So we're going RGS. The fungicide will be at the 0.2 ounce per 1,000. Okay, now that's if you have natural adjuvant, or if you have the zinc fungicide activator. You can run the 0.2 rate, the low rate. If you don't have either one of those adjuvants, you're on your own, or you run the 0.4 rate, which that's going to cost you twice as much if you do that. So we definitely recommend you run that with a natural adjuvant. Or if you're in one of those states where you can't buy it, California, Idaho, Kentucky, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Washington, Wyoming, then you can go on GCITurfAcademy.com and you can get that zinc activator, zinc fungicide activator. It's a very good. I used it before I started using natural adjuvant, and it will allow you to run a half rate or the low rate on the fungicide. So I'm gonna get out here and get to spreading with my spraying. You spray it no different than anything else that we've been spraying. You walk your normal pace that you've been walking. You put out that 0.2 ounces. Now that fungicide's a dry fungicide, it's a powder. So as you're stirring and mixing, you need to pour that in very slowly. So give it a minute to melt and blend in with the water. Then you adjust your pH, and then you add your natural adjuvant. If you're running the sink, you don't have to do any pH adjusting. It's you're good to go without that. So get out there and get your summer fert out, man. Check you later.